Alright, I guess my music wanted to stop. That was a massive fail. Oh well, right. Apparently my internet is just not liking me today. Let me just double check. Why did... Right, it's showing that I'm dropping frames, which makes no sense at all, because my internet appears to be fine. And oh my gosh, frames. Right, give it a moment to load in. There we are. Let's do a quick speed test. Let me see what my internet's like. I should have done this before I started, really. Genres. Do this. 14 down to 13 up. Okay, that makes no sense. Why am I lagging, man? My internet's fine my side, which makes no sense. Why am I lagging? YouTube, what's going on? Might have to quickly restart OBS then. Yeah. Right, guys, I'll have to quickly restart OBS. I'll be right back. Please, can you fix yourself? Maybe it's because I need to set my priority to maybe that will work. Right. What if I do that? Right, OBS, why aren't you liking me today? You was perfect yesterday. What's going on, eh? What's going on? I've got decent internet at the moment. Yo, Oliver, how you doing, man? Apparently my OBS is just wanting to die right now. I don't know what's going on. Is it lagging for you, Oliver? I just want to make sure, because it's showing on my end that it's lagging. You're tired? Ah. Right. It's not lagging. Right. Okay, that makes no sense. What's going on with my OBS? I did everything to plan for the stream, and then as soon as I go live, it's just not wanting to... I don't know, something... OBS has just been weird recently. Right. Apparently my frames are really low. Why are my frames... I've got worse frames than what I had in Gatwick. Why is that, eh? Anyways, let's get some power on. power. And we'll switch back to the jetway. Bloody hell, that's one short ass jetway. Wasn't there meant to be a Microsoft? Wasn't there meant to be an update today for Microsoft Flight Sim? Because this one was meant to be an update today. Yeah, apparently OBS today just doesn't want to work, or doesn't want to show you the correct data. It's showing on YouTube that the stream's okay, but it's not showing on OBS, which is like an issue because I look at OBS, not the YouTube stats. So we are flying from Gran Canaria to Vigo, as requested by who requested it? Someone from the Discord. I'll have to look in a minute. So happy right now. Two things: just streaming my local, and my local streamer from LAX is live today for 24 hours, staying up to see the operations at LAX during the night. So I'm glad to have a streamer to watch. Oh, that's nice. Cheers, thank you so much, Oliver. I really do appreciate it. Literally, I've only just started streaming on YouTube, so it's all very new to me. I'm a Twitch streamer. I've always been a Twitch streamer. I know my. I should have updated my nav data. I'll do it tonight. Right, position. So we are at GCLP, Golf Charlie Lima Papa. Can't remember what stand we're at. I think it was 13, but it doesn't really matter. And we're going to LEVX, Lima Echo Victor X-Ray. Flight number is AXC, which is Alpha Air 242. And we are in the Boeing 737. Right, departures. Let's load up my sim brief. Actually, let's do the quick brief. Let's have a look. Let's quickly brief our... Okay, so... We are AXC 242, which is Alpha Air 242. We are going from Gran Canaria to Vigo. This is the route I'm doing, Gclp to LEVX. This is exactly what we're doing. We are in the Boeing 737, and we will be taking off around in 20 minutes time, roughly, departing. Yeah, 20 minutes time. And then we will be landing in... You didn't know? And then we'll be landing around 1 o'clock. So it will be about an hour and a half flight. Okie dokie. So max takeoff weight will be 70 tons. And estimated is going to be 60. Landing weight is going to be 55 tons. We're estimating to take around 720 kilograms of fuel, or 7.7. Let's round up to 7.8 tons. So we'll be departing runway 3 left on the BIMBO 7 Alpha departure, directing out to BIMBO, then directing to waypoints after. We don't have any airwaves today, thankfully, because my nav data is out of date. And then we'll be coming in on the AGADO 1 Quebec arrival on runway 01. Today we will be taking on 144 packs which is still incorrect because I'm in a 2-class config. You want the 737 on the Xbox? Ah, fair enough. I don't know how that would work, to be honest. Like, I'm so used to PC, I just don't see... I personally don't see how it can work. But then, obviously, I've never played Xbox, Msfs, so... yeah. 3.6 tons of cargo, so that's going to be 1,800 kilograms on the front and rear. Okie dokie. Oh, bless me. So 3 left departure on the BIMBO 7 Alpha. Activate, go. There's BIMBO, then Nasus. Man, hey, pilot is high today. Then director LAMDI. Then director AGADO. Actually, that's going to be in the arrival. So AGADO 1 Quebec, wasn't it? Yeah. For ILS. Let's do the RNAV. Let's just double check. That comes up to there. Okay. Thank you. What are some ways I could come up with routes flying? I try exploring places and having fun. So right now, me and my good mate, who also runs the channel, this channel, are doing a round the USA trip. We are visiting every single state in the 737 on the mainland. So excluding Alaska and Hawaii, we are flying to every single state, and it's really interesting. We did a round the world trip as well last year, and it really opened our eyes to just find different places in terms of like culture, styles of airports and terrain and stuff. It was a really nice eye opener to just explore new places. We're just aligned perfect. So yeah, I'd recommend just going on Google Earth and just zooming in random places, looking for random airports and just spawn in there. That's my best bit of advice. Right, init ref. Was it 8.2 or 9.2 tons? No, it wasn't either. It wasn't either. 7.8 tons. Nice. Where should I start around the US trip? I'm from the US, and it's day for me when I do it. So we started from Renton, like we were taking delivery of our first 737 for our channel livery. I don't know. I like flying into. I much prefer flying East Coast than West Coast. There's just something about East Coast I much prefer. It's a lot closer and everything, but I love flying from Norfolk or Dulles or Phillies. Some place like that is nice. Even then, I do like flying down to Florida every single now and then. But yeah, East Coast is where I much prefer flying around. Okay. Let's go to our payload. Ground weight is 60.2. 7.8 fuel. Cost index is gonna be 17. And flight level 380. And then cruise, average wind is going to be 211 at 30. Execute. Transition altitude, I need to find that out. Cheers, mate. What apps do you recommend for flight simulation? I don't need it connect to a simulator sense, but I basically just need charts. Navigraph is amazing. I use Navigraph. It's one of the most powerful and most utilizable tools for Msfs at the moment in terms of planning. Well, if that's the whole point, it's to plan. Navigraph is such a powerful tool for Msfs. I don't think I can go without it anymore. It is payware. It is a monthly fee, unfortunately, but I don't think I can go a month without using it now. I remember back in the day I used to have to search up charts for the Jepson free charts and stuff, and not being able to find a certain chart for a certain airport was like the most frustrating thing ever, especially when you're on VATSIM. Okay. Let's just do this and that. I'm just going to quickly share the spread across. I'm going to be live streaming. Can't do it in that one. This one I can. That's pretty much it. Right, let's get sorted. Oh, OBS looking like it's starting to fix itself. I don't know what's wrong with OBS today. It may be RAM. I think I might need more RAM. I need to get some money for some RAM. I think that's one of my major issues at the moment is that I haven't got enough RAM, especially for the sim. Right, we align, so chuck the yaw damper on. Hydraulics on. That's not on yet. Right, N1 limit, we're gonna go Toga, so nothing, no derates. Flaps 5 for departure. CG is 23.9. pay is fine. I'll probably just play on Xbox. So, oh, fair enough. Slightly higher V speed today, 135. So 135 plus 10 on the MCP. 145. And then I'm going to quickly load up my Navigraph charts. Why won't you let me find the click spot? I don't know why I've been having issues with my click spots recently. There we go. So, what from VNav, LNav can come on, and it's come on, so I know I've configured it correctly. Let's load a bit of Navigraph. So, we will be taking off here at Gran Canaria on the BIMBO, which takes us all the way to BIMBO out here. From there, we will be directed via waypoints all the way up to the west coast of Spain, up to Vigo, or Vigo, however you want to pronounce it. So let's just load up charts. Airport, PinVat, and standard entry departure is the BIMBO. There we go. And we'll do the same for the arrival. What is our instrument? Standard arrival. AGADO. Where's AGADO? I feel so stupid saying that. AGADO. We're doing that one. What is the runway we're landing on? 01. RNAV 01. RNP Yankee, I believe. Yes, for Yankee. And then we need the briefing. No, airport info. There we go. Right. Or do we want to do runway 19 because it has ILS? We can switch it to 19 if we want to. I don't know. Nah, we'll stick it on the RNAV. We'll do an RNAV. I haven't done an RNAV in a while. Right. So landing altitude is 850. And we're taking off of 3 left, which is 026, 850. It is 38,000 feet, right? Yeah. .288, right? 2026. Completely off. What am I doing? Completely wrong button. And 145 on the speed. Okay. I think I'm ready to go. Just adjust my chair so it's a bit more comfortable. Okay, let's set our 2000. TA only. Okay, I believe I am ready for departure. So, let's do... Oh. What's going on? That was weird. I was trying to move my head and it wasn't letting me. So seatbelt signs can now come on. The fuel is on board, so we are all Gucci. That could come on. APU, if you want to work. My click spots have been awful recently. I don't understand why these frames are so awful when default scenery. Actually, it's inside of the aircraft. I haven't done anything to the aircraft to cause it to lag. Let's get rid of the navigraph. So we'll be taxiing down there. We can set our park and brake, and then once the APU is alive, let's turn on the anti-collisions as we're now preparing to go services. Get rid of that. I don't understand why my frames are so bad today. Okie dokie. Let's switch on the bleed. Keep the packs off, and we shall request pushback. And we will switch off the music. Alrighty then. And engine starter set to both, and engine 1, 2, I meant engine 2. In gets the fuel, and it's ignited. ATA. My chair is so squeaky right now. And engine 1 should have clicked off? Yes, it has. Engine number 2, now starting engine number 1. Engage with fuel. And ignition. Oh, that bass. And it should click back in a 3, 2, 1. Oh, it's a bit early, oh well. Packs on, APU bleed off, APU off, that's set back to normal. Logos can come on. Okay, flaps 1, 2, 5. And full left, full right, up, down, left and right. And then all we got to do is turn on the Z taxi light, and we are ready to go. Let's go to Vigo, how do you pronounce it? I don't know. Yeah, I definitely think I need more RAM. Still don't know what's wrong with my OBS though. Really confusing me. Yeah, so I can see on the stream that it's lagging. It wasn't like this yesterday. I'm gonna try restarting my OBS before we take off, guys. So I'm gonna hold short, and I will restart my OBS again, and hopefully it will fix it. I don't know what's wrong with it. I'll set it to CPU instead of GPU as well. Try 4,000. Ah, okay, guess we'll allow that. We'll just stream at a lower bit rate, and hopefully it shouldn't crash. Looks like it's running much smoother now. Okay, that's fine. That's weird. Okie dokie. Okay, clear for takeoff, Alpha Air 242. Well, go to strobe. Christ, okay. And here we go. Take off for set to go. Check.
V1 rotate.
Positive rate.
Positive rate of climb.
Gear up. And that will now be enough. Command A. And let's climb this sucker. Warmer speeds. Yeah. Flaps 2, flaps 1, flaps 0. Because we're like a rocket right now. I believe that over there is Fuerteventura. I believe I'm correct. Okay, let's climb straight to 38,000. Wrong one. Alright. We'll remain at 4,000 until Islet, and then we will climb up by the star. Ah, man, I just love flying in this sim. It's just beautiful. Beautiful. I probably should have set this to T8RA. Oh well. And could have set this to 122.8, but I'm not really using that sim, so it wasn't really on my mind. I'm definitely pressing that. And we shall climb again. Get some tunes back on. There we go. Can't go wrong with this. Not at all. Rightio then. So we have passed 10,000 feet, so I can whack these off. I didn't put them to continuous, but oh well. Right. Have I even got live weather on? Oh shoot. I thought it was too clear. I could have sworn I chucked it on. Oh wait, no, I restarted my sim, that's why. There we are. There's the clouds. Damn, that's beautiful. Alrighty. So, where are we? What's our altitude? 22,000 feet. Then I've need navers on. Nothing else to really do. Damn, the weather in real life today doesn't look too promising. Looks like it wants to rain, but also it wants to be sunny. This is one big ass blanket of cloud right here. One big blanket of cloud. It's not like a single hole in it at all. Right. Still climbing, just passing through 30,000 feet. Actually, let's do the localized, the ILS approach. ILS. Execute, okay. Right. I do love these views though, they are just spectacular. Man, I feel so tired this morning. I just don't know why. I've got a decent amount of sleep. Oh, I love the trailing edge views on here of the flaps. All the wings, I should say, trailing edge of the wings. It just looks so good. How is everyone doing today anyways? Hope everyone is having a brilliant day so far. And if you're not, I hope to cheer you up in this lovely stream. Wow, bro, thanks. No problem. Problem? Problem. I can't speak to... I'm so tired. I literally can't speak this morning. No problem. Problem. I can't... No problem, Lifey. I really can't speak this morning. Bloody hell. What's gone on? Christ. The departure was a bit crap because I had some issues with OBS. Now resolved them, and also it's really laggy there at Gran Canaria. Considering it's only down the road from Fuerteventura, I think it's Fuerteventura. I get decent performance there, but Gran Canaria was just lagging my PC off. How are you anyways, Lifey? Hope you are doing great. Right, let's think of something to do then. What videos is there to watch? Oh, I know what we can watch. We can watch the speed tapes. He's so interesting. Oh. Yeah, let's mute the music and we will watch a bit of this. Let's turn down our sim. I love this person, he's so good. His videos are so interesting. Hello from Indonesia. Hello, legend. How are you? Hope you're having a good day so far.
I gave up my last airline job back in 2014. It had been a 10-year stint flying MD-80s and A320s. Before that,
Nice.
I did 4 years' time flying regional turboprops, night freight in a Caravan, and even some time flying to and from Nantucket in a Cessna 402. Nowadays, I still get the benefit of watching the sunrise over the Pacific from 40,000 feet, but I do so in a pair of jeans and for the most part on my own terms. The things I get to see and do as a ferry pilot are truly unique, but at the same time, the greatest challenge I've ever faced. The business of moving empty airliners around the world for the leasing companies has been a continuous series of adventures and a massive
That must be such a sick job though, basically being a repo
The last
man.
2 years has been particularly challenging. A double whammy of sort. The amount of work has doubled, and the complexity of each trip has increased significantly. When in the average year your job requires you to enter over 70 countries...
No,
the global
but I'm
pandemic
hoping to
really
train
is
as
a
one
way of throwing
soon,
a wrench into the
legend.
machine. Trip planning now not only considers aircraft performance, weather, and cost, but also border restrictions, quarantine, and sometimes impossible destinations using normal travel means. While these travel restrictions inhibited our movement, they were absolutely crippling the airlines operating the aircraft owned by
That's
my
so
clients,
true.
the large lessors. The aggressive streamlining of the Lion Air fleet triggered a lot of early lease returns. These were aircraft that were put into storage as the airline cut capacity to meet slim demand.
I really
One
do
project
wonder
that
how
kept
much
us
money
busy
the
was an
airlines
11-ship
lost
return
during
from Lion
COVID.
Air. A combination of A320s and 737s.
Nice.
Most of these aircraft were placed into storage in Alice Springs, Australia, deep in the outback. 3 of them were stored in Jakarta.
Lovely 320.
This particular project
Oh, I like
has
the
been the
tail on
focus
them.
of most of my time over these last few months. I flew the first of the bunch,
That's
the
Bali Airport, isn't it?
737-900ER from Alice to Opelika, Florida. On that one, Brian and I had to fly to London, England, so that we could fly Heathrow Darwin on Qantas.
Nice.
The only other option was to quarantine for 3 days in Sydney upon arrival.
Oh, thank you very much, legend.
Once
That
we
means
hit
a lot.
Darwin, we chartered a Cessna Conquest down to Alice, where our jet was waiting.
It was lying there, yeah.
We'll be going over water just on departure, don't say lock decks or like that. It needs unreconsidered the seat pocket in front. Feel free to sit wherever you want. Yeah, and there'll be a couple of thermals in the set.
Okay.
Alice today, obviously. And yeah, like the event, we've got a depressurisation officer mask will make the point from the steering. Fire extinguisher in the front under the right-hand co-pilot seat. And a fire extinguisher behind. Good. And the baggage. And we've got our first aid 12 kilo sort of goes on board. All good?
All good.
So guys, jump on in when you're ready.
We actually ended up in London for 2 days because the first Heathrow-Darwin flight canceled due to a mechanical issue. I was seconds away from replacing myself on the trip and heading home from the UK because of an obligation at home. But we put together a plan quickly to swap me out in Honolulu, which would keep my trip footprint the same and keep things rolling.
Nice. Apparently his dad makes this music. It's really nice. It's like jazz.
The ride out of Darwin was bumpy as all hell, but I managed to doze off for most of the 2-hour flight anyway.
I can't
Originally, we
sleep
were
on
supposed to
planes
airline
much.
down
I
from Darwin,
struggle.
But we learned that that plan would be impossible with the travel restrictions, and literally set up the charter the night before we left London. My team and I scrambled to find a solution between Darwin and Alice, and I was pleasantly surprised with how cost-effective and comfortable this ride turned out to be.
That's an added bonus. Cheap and comfy. Can't
In
complain.
typical mid-pandemic Australia ops fashion, our plan involved to get in and go once we hit the ground in Alice, and verified everything was set for departure as soon as we got in. We were well rested from the long flight down to Darwin and ready to make the 3-leg hop from Alice to Honolulu by way of Brisbane and Majuro. Because I was heading home from Hawaii,
There's
my
the
clock was
liner.
ticking down, and I'd only have about 4 hours to play with once we got there before my flight home via San Francisco.
Yeah, we've chucked this carton of bottled water on my aircraft.
Oh, that's
Darren,
huge, man.
Darren got you some nibblers.
All right. Yeah. Last time we had a pack of Tim Tams that lasted.
There you
I ate them all within like an hour. Well, because they're good and we can't get them where I come from.
Nice.
So we're clear on the runway to backtrack to runway 12. Yeah, that's correct. So right turn. Right.
Good old backtrack on the runway.
Within an hour of landing in Alice, the door was closed and the engine started. It was mid-afternoon as we took the runway for departure. Normally, we leave Alice Springs eastbound a bit earlier in the day, and this itinerary had us transiting Majuro in the middle of the night.
Oof. Nice. Oh, that's funny.
You got a flight director, right? Yeah. Ready for flight, Give me airspeed calls if you would. Yeah.
Oh, that's funny.
200 knots accelerated.
On the takeoff roll, all my pitot-static instruments on the left side went blank. Altitude, airspeed, and vertical speed, which disconnected the auto throttles, blanked the flight director, and caused a bunch of error flags.
That is the most plain ass
Everything
looking
on the right side was
PFD I've
still
ever
good.
seen.
I was the flying pilot, and Brian was on the radios. But since he had all the good instruments on his side, I transferred control over to him and took the role of non-flying pilot. Remember on a previous episode when I said the first few minutes of a flight out of storage is the moment of truth? Well, here you go. We discussed returning to Alice, but both agreed that there was a high likelihood that this was a computer problem, and that we'd attempt to reset everything in Brisbane on the ground with guidance from an engineer. We still had a full suite of instruments on the right side, but that wouldn't cut it for the night oceanic legs. We'd need everything working. Bottom line was, even if we couldn't get the problem resolved, it was better to leave the airplane in Brisbane for maintenance versus returning to Alice. This would avoid dealing with the interstate restrictions again should we need to ground the airplane, and it's also easier to get parts in Brisbane, so the delay would likely be minimized there.
joys of no auto throttles.
Hmm.
I like this one. Yeah? Right now. For the first few hours. It's good. Doing an RTA with no auto throttles is good.
RTA stands for Required Time of Arrival. It's a feature with most modern flight management systems. An RTA is used when ATC assigns an aircraft to be at a certain point at a specific time. With auto throttles working, RTA is a total hands-off no-brainer. Enter the time you need to be over the fix, and the airplane arrives at the fix when commanded. With no auto throttles, it's really not too difficult either, but it requires the flying pilot manage the power with an eye on the required speed.
Hmm.
To make matters more complicated, this typically happens on descent with an arrival procedure.
I'm going flaps 40.
Down 3 green, flaps are 40 green light, and speed brakes are on green light. Any check is complete.
The weather was stormy in Brisbane, but most of the precip was south of the field. ATC lined us up for runway 1 left, and as an added bonus, one of the approach controllers asked if Steve was on board after we checked in. He then mentioned he was a fan of the Cockpit Casual series and gave us a shortcut. This has been happening a lot
Hey.
more often lately, and it's awesome. Brian guided us in with a perfectly executed, hand-flown approach with no auto throttles, and I assumed he had read my recent op-ed complaining about automation prima donnas. We were in for one more surprise on the first leg, which at the time we thought was associated with the display issues we were having. The GPWIS, or Ground Proximity Warning System, started screaming at us on short final for runway 1 left, as if it didn't know there was a runway there. We later learned that 1 left was a new runway. It opened in July of 2020, and apparently this aircraft's GPWIS database wasn't reprogrammed with the changes. Makes sense considering the jet hadn't flown since before that date.
Fair enough.
Disregard all that. Fucking too low. Must be the smart landing features that are activated. Brains. Minimums. Too low. Brain. I don't know how to turn that off. 50. Too low. Brain. Too low. Brain. Too low. Brain.
Oh, that's funny.
I couldn't hear you, Steve. What was that?
Feces on the floor.
Feces on the floor. Why?
Even they lab dumped in Philly on Alaska not long ago. They showed me a video of it. They dumped feces all over the ramp, and the airplane was pushed back through it, and there was like a double tire track through the pile of feces.
Well, if we keep eating all of this pizza, we're gonna have the same problem.
I
So,
would suggest shitting in the forward ladder.
yeah. Thank you very much, Brisbane. Observe. First class service here on live.
Oh, Christ.
Upon landing in Brisbane, we immediately pulled all the air data computer circuit breakers, and voila, the pseudo-static problem went away. We'd be able to continue the flight with no delay. The problem with the lav, however, was going to be a major inconvenience the entire trip. The malfunction was that filth from the waste tank was slowly backflowing into the bowl, which eventually led to overflowing. Neither of us had done anything but number 1 thus far, so the fact that there were toilet paper bits and what I can only assume was poop was particularly disturbing. The
Oh.
solution? Every 20 to 30 minutes, one of us had to go back and flush the lav.
Just imagine how long all of that wastage has been inside of those tanks if it wasn't drained. That's grim. Oh.
The 5-hour leg to Majuro in total darkness didn't create a ton of opportunity for filming.
5 hours, wow.
Over the Solomon Islands, there was a weather system for us to dodge, and we did so. Mostly passing over the top of the weather, although we did catch some St. Elmo's fire at one point. Speaking of the Solomon Islands, we actually stopped there instead of Majuro with the Lion Air 737-800s we moved a few months later, which you'll see in a later episode. Stopping in Honiara would have been preferred because it's a bit more direct and has cheaper fuel. The 737-900ER, however, doesn't have the range to make Honiara to Honolulu. It's a solid 8-hour leg, and the 900 is just too big and heavy to pull it off. This was only the second time landing in Majuro at night for me, and quite frankly, it wasn't that cool. A pitch black sea, a pitch black sky, and a little strip of land with a few lights on it was really all it was. Sadly, this was Brian's first time in Maj, and because it wasn't that impressive, he will have to do it again during the day sometime.
Well, it's 3:30 in the morning, and that little orange dot is a windsock in the middle of the Pacific Ocean. Welcome to Majuro,
Nice.
home of a fuel truck that for some reason is not showing up at the airplane. And this is the airplane. Very excited to be here. And I was really hoping to take a sign, a picture at the sign, but I asked the guy and he very politely told me no. So this will have to suffice. Wish you all happy Hanukkah. Bye.
Majuro's a really fascinating place during the day, as you can see for yourself. Nighttime doesn't do it justice, so if you really want to see Majuro and you're new to Cockpit Casual, I suggest watching Tale of Seven Virgins, Episode 4, because there's a lot of awesome Maj footage on that one.
Nice. Wow, it's literally like in the middle of nowhere.
After fueling up, we got our clearance over HF and back taxied for departure. We were on the ground in Majuro for a total of 45 minutes, which was good because my clock was still ticking to make my flight home from Honolulu in time to get to my son's swim meet.
Nice.
We got word that Aiden had made it to Honolulu to replace me and was currently in rest at the outrigger Waikiki. Once we landed in Honolulu, I'd head right out, and Brian would meet Aiden over at the hotel and take some long rest himself.
Look the way he's sat. He must be so uncomfortable.
The sun rose after about an hour en route, and it looked like we'd have pretty good visibility for the rest of the leg. The weather in Honolulu was reporting clear, and I was hoping to get some video of the now totally abandoned Johnston Atoll. I built P-John, which was the original ICAO airport code for the island, into our FMC database so we'd know when to look outside for it. Glad I did, because it worked out perfectly, and we got a great view.
Nice.
By the time we started down for Honolulu, we were both pretty sick of being on the airplane, and I was pretty jealous that Brian was going into rest and I had a ticket on United to San Francisco with my name on it. Sure, it was business class and I'd be unconscious before takeoff, but the thought of spending the next 6 hours crammed into a passenger jet with a bunch of enthusiastic vacationers returning from holiday sounded pretty freaking horrible.
Oh, that's funny.
Following a Cessna, unbelievable.
As I mentioned earlier, we departed Alice late in the day, and as a result, the whole trip took place during abnormal times for a Pacific crossing, at least for us at Nomadic.
There's John Rogers. We used to land there all the time instead of Honolulu.
I can count on one hand how many times I've arrived Honolulu in the mid-afternoon, and I was instantly reminded why. It was busy, and they sequenced us behind a caravan which required us to slow to VREF, or landing reference speed, several miles out. With a view like this, however, I couldn't complain much.
That is a stunning approach, though. Just so blue. Look at the water. It looks just so good.
I'd been wanting to get video of a daylight approach into Honolulu with good visibility for a while, and the day didn't disappoint. Of course, if we'd gotten 26 left, which I've only gotten once ever, it would have been perfect, but we got the normal visual to 4 right, which brought us in over the top of the reef runway.
Claps, 40 for the green light.
Looks amazing, that does. Nice.
Pearl Harbor. Oh man, one belt.
It is beautiful, to be fair. Hey, I heard Information Alpha. UPS. Let's just double check that we're all okay. Still got ages to go.
I want to play that golf course. It looks awesome. I've hit the airplane. Not me. Minimums. This thing drops like a rock, man. It's a fucking 900, I guess. It's just like my 80 knots, high bottoms.
Nice.
For me, the next 14 hours or so would be a blur. I made my flight to San Fran, where I then got denied lounge access, so I sat at the gate before eventually boarding my red-eye to Philly.
Christ.
Got home around 8 a.m. and within a few hours I was driving my
I'd be
youngest
pissed
down
if
to
I was
Virginia.
denied lounge access with a business class ticket. Look
For
at
the
those
rest of the
Alice
trip,
hairs.
it was now the Brian and Aiden show. Remember, we arrived Honolulu in the mid-afternoon, so after Brian got over 12 hours of rest, he and Aiden headed out to the airport at around 3 a.m. local to stay on schedule and get the aircraft delivered before close of business the next day in Opa-locka, one of Miami's satellite airports. I left one of my GoPros with Brian, and he managed to eventually figure out which side faced out.
Wow. Yeah, that's pretty cool.
The sun came up, as it always does, shortly after hitting the ETP, which stands for Equal Time Point. The ETP is an important point on each oceanic leg because it lets us know whether to continue to the nearest suitable airport or turn back to an airport behind us. Because the winds are always different, which directly affect our ground speed, the ETPs have to be calculated each time, and they're listed on the flight plan along with their corresponding diversion airports. You may have also noticed that I said ETPs, as in plural. This is because there are different ETPs for different types of emergencies. The ETPs also take into account flight conditions and aircraft configuration. In other words, an engine failure ETP takes into account the loss of performance due to operating on one engine, which will always require a drift down to a lower altitude, which is dependent upon the aircraft's weight. A depress ETP, which accounts for a loss in cabin pressure, is typically the most restrictive. This type of emergency requires a descent down to about 10,000 feet, and fuel burn at 10,000 feet is significantly higher than burn at altitude.
Nice.
The reason we chose Phoenix as the next technical stop for this project was because we got a better fuel price than any of the other locations we'd typically use on a narrow body heading from Hawaii to the East Coast. This is typically about a 45-minute turn where fuel is loaded and another walk-around is conducted.
Good stuff.
Here we are, taxiing. All right.
That was a pretty short taxi.
With Phoenix's east runways in use, it was a short taxi, and Brian and Aiden were airborne on the final leg of the trip very quickly.
Nice.
Nomadic pilots all hold PIC ratings in type, and the flying pilots always get to choose what seat they fly out of. Pretty much everyone does flying from the left, except Aiden is the one exception, at least for now. Aiden's Bob's son. He's 27, and he's been flying long-haul ferry flights since he was about 21. He's fully rated in the 737, but his career path has been a dream for anyone. He doesn't quite
You
have
can
the
say
command
that.
experience yet, but as someone who's not even 30, Aiden has a couple thousand hours of experience on many of the Boeing and Airbus types we fly. He's rated as second in
crazy.
command in all of them except the 737, where he actually has a PIC rating. Aiden's a sharp guy, and his role will grow with Nomadic as
It's
he
really
gains
good
experience.
for his age, actually.
Hey everybody, welcome aboard Nomadic 536. Non-stop service from Miami, Florida to Opelika, Florida, over 6 days via Philadelphia, London, Darwin, Australia, Alice Springs, Australia, Brisbane, Australia, Marshall Islands, Honolulu, Phoenix, Arizona, and right now, on the last segment, we can look out the window and see the Gulf of Mexico on our way into Florida.
Nice.
All in all, it was a pretty chaotic 6 days with a lot of changes and moving parts to deal with. Since this was the first of 11 aircraft to fly basically the same route, we took some of the lessons learned on this trip to heart, which made for smoother sailing on the rest of them. There will be another cockpit casual video from this batch of aircraft, which will feature a two-ship movement with a pair of 737-800s from Lion Air.
Nice.
On that one, Brian, Bob, Aiden, and I embarked on yet another adventure that was different enough from this one to keep you entertained. Expect the video of that in a couple of weeks. Next week, however, you'll get to ride along on a 767, and that one is very special, so set a reminder.
Nice. Interesting. So I'm assuming this is the 767 one. Premieres in 2 days. Alright. Very interesting. Let's have a look at how we're doing. Mohammed, thank you so much for the sub, man. Really do appreciate it. What was it saying 7 minutes ago? Let me reload all my overlays. Hopefully that'll fix it. Yeah, it's showing 7 minutes later when people are subbing, which makes no sense. Would you look at that view? It's looking pretty nice so far, actually. Looking good. Look at those engines too. Oh. I do love our channel livery. Look, it's me. Right then, I'm going to quickly leave the cockpit for about 10 minutes, so I will be right back, guys. Alright. Hope everyone is still okay. So where are we? So we are how far from our top of descent? Uh, 232 or 11:30, 12:30. Okay. There we are. So let's chuck that into plan mode and we will just quickly step it. And that's the missed approach. You know what? WX40. This will go after the VX20. And then that should clear things up. So let's quickly step it again. Yeah, that's fine. That cleans up the approach. Unless if we go direct to the VX15. No, we'll follow AGADO because that is like the main waypoint in the star. Okay. Come out plan mode. Okay, still got a little while until top of December, that's okay. Alright, okay. It's been pretty smooth so far this flight. Let's see if there's anything else we can watch then. YouTube. What else is there to watch until our top of descent? I haven't watched this person in a while. Right, let's load this up.
Melbourne Airport, the international term. It's almost midnight and I've got a bit of a travel theory which I wanted to test in this video today.
G'day, mate. From Australia. Nice
So this
little
theory
island.
that I have, this thing I want to test today is I think there's a bit of a shift coming in the way that we travel, and it's all to do with ultra long haul or ultra long range aircraft. You look at companies like Qantas, they're buying a bunch of new A350s, and by 2025 with Project Sunrise, their plan is to be able to fly from Australia to the east coast of America non-stop. Not bad in its own right, especially if you want to get somewhere quick, but I just have this concern that it's going to start killing off the traditional travel stopover. And so that's why I've come here today. This is a brand new country for me, never been here before, to see if this is a viable stopover destination as opposed to blasting your way halfway around the world without stopping. There are a couple of other reasons why I've come here for the next couple of days, but I'll come to those in a second. Picture of your planes here. Sorry, I'm a bit of an aviation nerd, so yeah, there's some great models. I have a few at home. Brilliant. Thank you very much. Thank you. This is the Harbour Lounge, by the way. This is where they put you if you're not flying with Qantas, not flying with Singapore. The Qantas First Lounge is just across there, but if you're not flying with any of them, but you're still flying business, which we are today, this is where they put you. I've been sitting in this lounge for about half an hour now, looking at the departures board, and this flight that I'm on is code shared with a Qantas flight as well, and I'm wondering, with my Qantas status, does that mean that even though I'm not flying with Qantas today, can I still get into the Qantas First Lounge? It's worth a try, right? Wish me luck. This would be a good result if I could get in here. Can I just check something? I'm a Qantas Platinum member. Am I still able to come into the lounge? That's amazing. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. I'm not sure if that's the norm, whether she was just really nice on the front desk, or whether it's just my lucky day. I've been waiting here for about the last 5 minutes for that too. But it's...
That's pretty cool though, they've got one of the old...
No, it's not going to do it. Okay, enough time mucking around in lounges. We have a plane to catch now.
I love how everyone, look, all kids think as soon as you see a camera, it's like, oh, is that a TikTok? No, we're the OG YouTubers.
Sleep through most of this. It is almost midnight, so I'll see you on the other side. Slept for the whole flight. That's about 4 hours, and now we're about to land.
On behalf of Captain Vilami Formano and the entire cabin crew, we hope you have enjoyed your flight with PJ Airways and approach your partner Qantas.
Thanks very much, man. Thanks for looking after us.
Nice. Bula.
That's me. Thank you. How are you? I'm Steph. Fresh air. The driver that they've organised for me told me to wait here, and he was going to grab his car and come back and pick me up. That was about 15-20 minutes ago. I'm sure he'll be here soon. Am I in the right place? I think I was supposed to wait here. Quite a quick turnaround till I have to come back to the airport, so I kind of wanted to get to the hotel, and I'm sure he'll be here soon. Oh no, that's him. All right.
Bula.
That's not me. Welcome, Kendrick Nguyen. For the remainder of this video, I will only answer to the name Kendrick. I think it suits me. But I don't have very much time to enjoy this resort just yet because I've got 46 minutes before I need to head back to the airport because Fiji Airways wanted me to try out another one of their planes. So quick shower, quick wash, and then
What's
How
the point
good
in
does a
checking into
shower
the
feel
airport, to the
after a
hotel
long
then?
flight? You feel human again. Okay, one thing I wanted to show you is in this resort, the way you get from the hotel across to where the taxis are. Hola. Thank you. How are you? Good, good, thank you. Very well, thank you. How many trips do you do every day?
Sometimes 20, 30,
Yeah.
when it's busy.
Busy, yeah. Thank you very much. Fun story before we jump on this flight. I was supposed to get a car to pick me up from the hotel to bring me here. The car didn't show up. Left it about half an hour, thought it was getting a bit late. The guy came up and asked if I wanted to get a ride into town. He brought me here, but then he didn't take credit cards. So I had to go to the ATM to get cash. Got cash, finally got here. I don't know what it is with today. Now I've got not very much time at all. I really have to say a big thank you to Fiji Airways. Not only have they flown me out here to have a look around their training academy, but they knew I had a spare afternoon today and I had nothing better to do. So they found me a spare seat on this Twin Otter. I'm literally going to fly out to another island and fly back again because they knew I liked flying so much and I had nothing better to do. Thank you, Fiji. That aircraft is of course an ATR. It's not the Twin Otter we're flying today. The one we're flying today.
Nice.
They also gave me the front seat.
Hey, that's pretty good.
First flight down, that was brilliant, about 40 minutes. I didn't capture the approach over the hill on this camera though, but I did get it on my phone, so I'm going to put it next to me whilst I'm standing here talking. It was brilliant. It's an approach over 3 hills.
So
If
cool,
you've ever
that
seen
is.
anyone landing at St Bart's before, you've probably seen something similar where they do a quick procedure turn to line up with the runway, then basically descending, making sure that you're keeping clear of the terrain, and at the last minute when you come over the last hill, that's when the plane actually descends down, flares over the runway. It's all about speed management, brilliantly done, and grease the landing as well. I'd love to try that in Echo Yankee Zulu, but if you float, you don't really have much of a chance. The hill, I can show you actually, is kind of behind me here. So that's the end of the runway, and you can kind of see the hill. It doesn't look as steep come over the top here, and all manage your energy all the way down the runway.
So it's just sick, that is. Now that right there is what you call a little airport.
And the best part is I'm about to jump back on that plane and fly back again. It's like my 3rd flight in about 8 hours. I'm loving today. It's just all planes and airports. I'm having such a brilliant day. And with the sun beating down on my face, of course I fell asleep on the plane ride on the way home, jumped in a taxi and came back here to the resort where I am now. And what about my travel experiment then, the theory I was working with, that I should try and stop a little bit more often? Do I think, having been in Fiji now for this short amount of time, do I think it's worth doing? Yeah, of course. Look at what you get. I'll be honest, sometimes in my life I do think I push efficiency up a little bit too high as a priority. What I want to do is focus more on things like curiosity. Aviation for me has
That's
never
a nice
just
shot,
been
that
about
was.
the plane. It's not just about flying. It's about what you can do with the plane and where you can go. And even though we are going to have opportunities in the future to be able to blast from Australia all the way to the east coast of the United States, I don't necessarily think that's what we should do all the time. If you're like me, and I think you are because you're watching this, if you're like me and you're a curious type, you're adventurous, but sometimes you just think, oh, I'll just get there in one go. It's just going to be easier. Maybe rethink that. Maybe think about stopping at some of those places that you fly over at 35,000 feet and look down on and go, that island looks
Yeah,
cool.
but then you gotta
I wonder
spend
what's
money
down
on
there.
hotels, taxis, and everything. Like, although a direct trip may cost a bit more. Overall, it's probably going to be slightly cheaper. Unless if you only have a couple hours stopover, then that's pretty much worth saving the money.
If you are looking for a career in aviation, the next video on this channel is going to be a behind-the-scenes look at the Fiji Airways Training Academy. If you've ever wanted to learn how to fly, or you're just curious about working in the aviation industry,
Cool. We've got about 14 minutes into our top of descent. Okie dokie. Right, let's get the music back on. Oh, these views are just spectacular. I just can't get over how good the sim looks still. It's just so good. Right, let's start preparing for our approach anyways. Oh, I nudged my trim again. So, let's go to here. We will be taking... yeah, we'll take flaps 30. We'll be doing auto brake 2. Actually, no, it's a short runway, so we'll do auto brake 3. LS is 110.9. Course is 194. And we will be doing packs on for landing. let's just double check our approach. Zoom out a bit. So, come to AGADO, turn left, over that, and then it will be a sharp turn in, and then we'll be lined up in 194. Okay. Okay, fairly straightforward. Less than 10 minutes until we reach top of descent, and we will be descending down to 3,400 it looks like. So let's pre-select this. Ooh. So when we reach top of descent, VNav will kick in and it will descend us. Let's turn down this music a tad. I didn't release for peasants. I'll let them have their 5-minute toilet break for peasants. And then I'll have to switch it back on. Look at that. Beautiful. Never seen anything look so good. Alright, let me reposition myself for landing. Okay, we'll be coming to top of descent in a few minutes' time. Oh, I love this view. Look at that view. Okay, we're coming up to our top of descent. Alright, so the throttle should be idling in a second, hopefully. There we go. Let's go down to Vigo. But I can't stop yawning today. Okay, time to switch back on the fasten seatbelt sign. So we need to be below 240 by here. Yeah, we need to be below flight level 240 by AGADO at 250 knots. Okay. Let's change this to 150. And then oh, okay. That's fine. We did put our landing altitude in. Yes, we did. Here's Spain, Espanol, right here. $5,000 feet coming up. So we're gonna try take Charlie 1. So let me, yeah, it's on auto brake 3. Yeah, Charlie 1 is gonna be our aiming point to get off at. So let me just load up the navi graph again. So Charlie 1 is right here. This is where we're aiming to get off at. Yeah, if not, just take Charlie 3. Plenty of space for us to land on anyways. Right, we are currently within limitations at the moment, but we will have to decel soon. This is stunning me, I will admit. ITA. Let's turn the sim back up. Zero 20. Let me just double check on Valanta. 1027. Okay, dokie. Lovely stuff. Damn, son, Spain's looking hella good, actually. Fair enough. This world update wasn't bad at all. Right, so we should be ascending below 10,000 soon, and we should decel to 250. Or 240 as it's showing in here. And then 186 for the major term, and down to 150, and then down to 156. Okay, that's all good. That makes sense. Nope, not let me change my. Oh wait, no. Nope, not let me. Alright, that's fine. Oh, look at this. Oh. Oh no, I missed the view. Here we go. Look at that. Would you just look at that view? Look at the sun glistening on the waves there as well. That just looks so good. Wow. Fair play. And speed check. Perhaps 1. And flaps 2. Nice. And let's mute the music and bring up the sounds. Right, so the airport should be over here. That's it, right there. Lovely stuff. Yeah, that's the airport right there. Oh, it's a bit rough in the air here. Yeah, the air looks a little bit rough, but that's all good. And speed check flaps 5. And speed check flaps 10. And then we should start to slow down. And then we'll drop the gear after the turn and go flaps 15, 25 and 30. Okay, I know that's on runway 29 for continuous. Flaps are set to 5. Okay, 10. TARA, what's this runway? 110. 110-9, 110.9, and then 194, and I've selected my VREF speeds at flaps 30, 130. Okay, I didn't even turn them off. That sensor armed. Okie dokie. Let's get ready to plant this sucker on the ground. Right, fingers crossed for a good landing. Never flown here before, so I don't really know what the approach is like. But it seems like there's quite a bit of rough air around us, so I'm not expecting it to be amazing, but it should be alright, hopefully. Oh, it's a bit rough actually. It's very rough. We should be making our right hand turn in a moment. Christ, it is rocky up here. Whoa. Get the sick bags out then, boys, because it's going to be a bumpy approach. Good thing I've selected flaps first instead of 40. Lovely. Whack on the approach. We're going to go gear down early. Go flap 15. It's over there. Lovely stuff. Check. There we are, VOR lock on the localizer. Right, we'll wait a bit to select. Actually, we'll go flap 25 now. Because I want to slow down last minute because of how rough the air is. I don't want to be losing airspeed too quickly. I need to have a bit of airspeed to keep myself pushing through this rough air. And landing lights can come on. Close the guard.
2500.
Check. So flaps free, speed brakes are armed, continuous, landing lights on, logo lights on, position and strobe, anti-collision on, fuel pumps as are required. Everything else looks all good. I need to set 3,000 feet. Oh no, I need to set, what was it? 4,300 as the go around altitude. Flaps 30. Let's start slowing down to 130. Lovely stuff. Switch off the auto throttles. It is very rough. I'm going to disconnect and take over. It is rough up here. Oh my gosh, I've been thrown over. Oh my gosh. This is just
Glide slope.
good fun.
Glide slope.
I know.
Glide slope. 100. 50.
Oh, don't get
30,
thrown over.
20.
Ailerons.
10.
Oh, okay, I will take that. And manual braking. Will I make the rapid exit? Yes, I think I will. And ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Vigo. Landing lights coming off. APU can come on. That, my friend, was a challenging approach. My gosh, that was really challenging, man. Those winds were just all over the place. and we will take this one. Is this right? It's not meant to be, not meant to be facing this way. Right, let's line ourselves up. That was really challenging. That was good fun though. Fair play. That was a good approach. Good suggestion by Lifery then. Those winds were all over. I was being thrown right around like a rag doll. That was good fun though. I haven't even had time to bloody do my cleanups. Couple break. APU's on. Kid. Anti-collision. No. Oh, I did turn that off. That can come on. That's unsteady. Logo can come off. Flaps coming up now, so that can now go. Let's stop the recording and we will complete the flight on Volanta. So it was minus 355. There's no way. It seemed a lot smoother than that. Oh well. Okay. So let's go on to replay.
Positive rate of climb.
It's because I'm not on the right flaps. Come on. I know. Right, you're telling me that you want me to go into... Okay. I guess we're just gonna have to deal with this noise. Ignore the noise, guys. I know it's a tad bit annoying, but... What's going on? What is the flight recorder doing? It's just... It just can't make its own mind up. It just doesn't know what to do. Right. Just gotta ignore the noise. Although it is a bit annoying, mate. Look at this, though. Look at this. Alpha Airways coming in to land. Let's look at how windy it was. It was very choppy. This is probably one of the most complex approaches I've done because of weather so far. This was just really, really choppy. Okay, this is when it started to get a bit more interesting after this hill. All of the heat is just coming up from the hill and just creating air pockets. Here it is. Wow. Look at this, though. Lovely stuff. You know what? That can't get any better, I reckon, without weather. I reckon that you can't get any better than that. I'm gonna give myself a clap. That was pretty good, actually. Okie dokie. I am very happy with that. Right, guys. I'm gonna have to end the stream here, unfortunately, because I do have things to do for the rest of the day. But that was an amazing approach. Fair play. I thoroughly enjoyed that. Right. I guess I'll see you guys in the next stream, guys. If you have any suggestions for next flights, routes, locations, anything like that, please let me know in my Discord. Link is in the description below. So yeah, I guess I'll see you in the next video or stream. So guys, thank you very much for watching.